Okay, welcome. Today we will be going to see about construction of single phase induction motor. Okay, first we will be see about induction motors. Okay, induction motors will run on AC supply, whereas other motors such as DC motors that you have seen earlier will run on DC supplies. Okay, whereas induction motors will run on AC supply. Okay, there are single phase induction motor as well as three phase induction motor. Depending on the power rating and depending on the power required for you, you can choose single phase or three phase. In case of single phase induction motor, the power developed by the motor is less. Okay, in case of three phase induction motor, the power developed by the three phase induction motor is greater when compared with the single phase induction motor. Okay, in constructional wise, single phase and induction motor and three phase induction motor are same. Okay, in the stator and rotor, instead of single phase winding, we will be using three phase winding in three phase induction motor, and in single phase induction motor we will be using only single phase in winding. Okay, this is the difference between the single phase and three phase induction motors. Okay, both works on the principle is same. Okay, it works on the principle of induction motors. Okay, now we will be see about the advantages of induction motors. It has very simple and extreme rugged, almost unbreakable construction. Okay, especially squirrel cage type. Okay, the induction motors are very rugged and unbreakable construction. The construction of the motor itself, it is very rugged. Next, its cost is low and it is reliable. So the cost of the motor is very less. Next, it has sufficiently high efficiency in normal running condition. No brushes are needed, hence frictional losses are reduced. It has reasonably good power factor. Okay, since during the running of the motor, the frictional losses which are present in the motor is very less. Only bearing and the shaft with the slip ring and the rotor is going to rotate. Okay, in DC motors you may see we will be using brushes to collect the supply or to provide supply to the armature winding of the motor. Okay, in this induction motor there is no such brushes are available. It works on the principle of induction, so no brushes is needed. Similarly, the power factor of the induction motor is very good. It requires minimum of maintenance, so it does not need maintenance at all. Okay, it requires minimum, but it does not need maintenance of the induction motor. It start up from rest and needs no extra starting motors and has not been synchronized. Okay, so this motor, when you turn on the motor, it will run. There is no need of starter. Okay, in induction motor, there is no need of starter. If you turn on the motor, it just run. Okay, this is the merits of induction motor. Its starting arrangement is simple, especially for squirrel cage type. So, very simple starting winding or very simple starters can be used to start the squirrel cage induction. You can use only a switch. When you want to on, you can on the switch, the motor will run. And the disadvantages of squirrel cage induction motor. Its speed cannot be varied without sacrificing some of its efficiency. So the speed control of induction motor is not possible. Okay, it is possible when you have sacrifice in its efficiency. So if you have a 90% efficient motor, if you apply speed control to the 90% efficient motor, the speed can be controlled by sacrificing the efficiency to 60%. Okay, just like DC shunt motor, its speed decreases with increase in load. Okay, it is very similar to shunt motor. The shunt motor is a constant speed motor, but if you load the shunt motor to a heavy range, the speed of the motor get decreased. Similarly, the induction motor also behaves as the same. Okay, the speed decreases with increase in load. its starting torque is somewhat inferior to that of DC shunt motor. So the starting torque of the motor is somewhat lesser when considered with the DC shunt motor. Okay, so these are all the merits and disadvantages of induction as well as slip ring induction motor. Okay, we have two types of motors. Let us see. Okay. This is the construction of single phase induction motor. Three phase induction motors will also look like this. Okay, both motors will be similar when you see these things. Okay, the only difference is you will having a single phase winding inside the stator as well as rotor. Similarly, if it is a three phase motor, you will be having a three phase winding in the stator. And if you want a rotor to be a three phase, then you can also arrange to it as a three phase, or you can use a squirrel cage rotor. Okay, don't worry about that. We will explain in details. Okay, do you have seen this motor somewhere? Okay, in our household appliances, we will be using the squirrel cage motors. Okay, for example, the water pump motor, which is used in your houses to take water from the main water stream, is a squirrel cage induction motor. Similarly, the fan which you are using, okay, it is a squirrel cage induction motor. Similarly, the AC in air conditioners, you see, now we are having single phase air conditioner as well as three phase air conditioners. Both works with the induction motors. Similarly, your refrigerators, the compressor of the refrigerator runs with the help of the single phase induction motors. Okay, most of the motors in industries are induction motors. Okay, so the induction motors plays a very vital role in transferring electrical energy into mechanical energy. Okay, induction motors provide a very good mechanical strength. It is very rugged, it cannot be breakable, low maintenance, very high efficiency, less maintenance cost. Everything makes this motor to be usable in all streams. Now, let us see the construction of the motor. You will be having two primary components. One is stator, another one is rotor. Okay, you know what is meant by a stator. The stator which is does not rotate. The component which does not rotate is known as a stator, whereas the component which rotate is known as a rotor. Now, we will see the parts of the DC. Sorry, we will see the parts of the induction motor. Okay, here first we will be seeing about the frame. Okay, here this one is the frame. Okay, similarly this one also frame. Okay, next stator and rotor core. Okay, this is the stator core. Okay, and similarly this inside one is the stator core, and these two are the rotors. Okay, there are two types of rotors. We will see in details. Okay, so only we are having two figures. Okay, this is frame, this is stator, this is rotor core. Okay, next stator and rotor windings. You can see inside the stator we are having the windings. Okay, these are all copper windings. Similarly, here also you will be having windings. Okay, this is known as the stator windings. Okay, in rotor, in slip ring induction rotor only you will be having windings. This is the slip ring induction rotor. You will be having slip rings at the end, and this one is the squirrel cage rotor. Okay, next, air gap. The air gap represents when you put this rotor into the stator, there will be some gap between the stator and the rotor. That is the moving part and the stationary part. There will be some air gap will be present. That gap is known as the air gap. Shaft and bearing. You know, this is the shaft, and bearings are present in here and here. This is the shaft of the motor. Okay, next, fans. For cooling purposes you will be having fans. Okay, here the fan can be attached inside the rotor. While this motor rotates, the fan also rotates. The fan provides the cooling purpose. Next one is slip rings and slip ring enclosures. Okay, this one is the slip ring, and this one is the slip ring enclosures which is present inside the end cap. Next, here is the stator. Okay, this is the stator of the induction motor. Okay, you can see this is the frame. Okay, this outer part is the frame. Inside you will be having the stator windings. Okay, in stator windings, if you have a three-phase stator winding, then it is known as a three-phase induction motor. If you have a single-phase stator winding, then it is known as a single-phase induction motor. So, in the winding, in the stator windings, you have two different parts. If you wind the motor for single phase, then it is known as single phase induction motor. If you wind the wind the stator for three phase, then it is known as a three phase induction motor. Okay. The windings are made up of copper, and the outer core, that is the case, is made up of steel or iron, cast iron. Okay, the three phase windings are brought out. Okay, you can see here the windings are brought out like this. Okay, you have to give supply to the winding, which is AC supply. The frequency should be 50 hertz, and the supply should be 120 hertz in phase. Okay, phase shift should be 120 in phase. Okay, this is the stator. Next, we move to the rotor. This is a squirrel cage rotor. Okay, uh, the squirrel cage rotor is one of the very rugged construction rotor in the world. Okay, it has, okay, you can see in clear. Okay, you have two end rings. Okay, this one is one end ring, and similarly at the back side here you will having another one end ring. Okay, end ring represent a copper bar, copper structure. Okay, or copper circle. Okay, next you will be having a copper bars. Okay, these are the copper bars. Okay, you can see this one is the copper bar. Okay, I'll show you. These are the end rings. Okay, in the end rings you will be having copper bars. Okay, connecting like this. Okay, these copper bars are skewed by an angle of 60° to 30°. What is mean by skewing? Okay, if the end rings are like this, okay, the copper bars are not connected in straight like this. Okay, they will not connect like this. What they will do is they will connect slantingly. Okay, they will connect slantingly. You can see here the slanting. Okay, similarly the next one and the next one. You see all the copper bars are slanting. Okay, so this is because to avoid the locking tendency of the rotor. Okay, and also it avoids the motor to run quietly. Okay, it will not produce any sound, electrical noise. Okay, similarly you can see this is the shaft. Okay, this one is the shaft of the rotor, and these copper bars are enclosed with the end ring. This is the end ring. Okay, you can see this is the end ring. Okay, Similarly, in the back side also, you will be having another one entering like this. Okay. So the main purpose of squirrel cage induction motor is it is very rugged in construction. Okay. These copper bars are very strong and the end ring also very strong. Similarly, the shaft which is present inside the squirrel cage rotor is also very strong. Okay. Next, we will move to the next type of motor, which is nothing but the wound rotor. Okay, here it is. This is the wound rotor. Okay, in wound rotor, what they will do here is in the rotor also they will be having windings. Okay, the rotor will be having windings. This windings is three-phase windings or okay. These three-phase windings are connected with the slip rings. There will be three-phase winding R, Y, B and neutral, and you will be having slip rings. You can see this is one slip ring and this is another one slip ring and this is another one slip ring and this is another one slip ring. Okay, these windings are connected with the slip rings. Okay, and here you will be having brushes, four brushes. Okay, these four brushes are taken out. The supply from the brushes are taken out. Okay, see, here is the stator winding. Okay, this stator winding is nothing but the three-phase supply. Okay, here also one phase, here is another phase, and here is another phase. In the rotor also, there will be three windings, three phases. Here are the three phases. These three phases are taken out and connected to the squirrel cage slip rings. Okay, this is the slip ring. Okay, can see this is the slip ring. Now the slip rings are connected with the brushes. You can see this is the brush. This end is the brush. Okay. This end is the brush. At the end, you will be having brushes. From the brushes, the supply is taken out. The supply is taken out. And it is being connected to a rheostat or these three phases are short circuited. Okay. This is the construction of slip ring induction rotor. Okay, now I will explain you how the motor will rotate. Okay, here you can see this is the stator winding. Okay, if you connect a three-phase supply to the stator, the flux produced inside the rotor will also be in three-phase. Okay, the flux produced in the rotor, you can see the magnetic lines of force will be crossing all over the positions like this. Okay, because if you supply the power, the rotor present here will become a magnet. If magnet is present, then lines of force will act, and this lines of force will be rotating in nature. Why? You are supplying a three-phase rotating supply because this sine wave you supplied inside the rotor is 120-degree phase shift with each other, and so the flux which is produced here is also rotating in nature, and this flux is known as rotating magnetic flux. rotating magnetic flux. Okay. This rotating magnetic flux will be present when you provide a three-phase supply. Okay. Next, in the rotor, okay, you will be having a stator over here, and this stator is going to provide this stator is going to provide you a three-phase magnetic flux, which is already present in here. Okay, what happens in the rotor? In this rotor, the magnetic flux will cut the rotor. Okay, this magnetic flux will cut the rotor. Okay, you know, according to Faraday's law, if the conductor is made stationary and the magnet, north and south magnets, are moving, what happens? The conductor will produce a EMF, and this EMF in turn produce a current I. Okay, so in the rotor you will be having copper bars. Okay, you have seen earlier, this rotor will having copper bars. Okay, you will be having copper bars like this. Okay, if the flux cuts the copper bar, the copper bars will produce an EMF inside it. Okay, the copper bars will produce an EMF inside it. Next, there are end rings. This is the end ring. Okay, this is the end ring. Okay, this end rings will short circuit the copper bar. You see, all the copper bars are touching the end rings, and so the EMF E produced inside it is being short circuited. Since it is short circuited, the current starts to flow through the copper bar. This current produces a magnetic flux. Okay, this current produces a magnetic flux, and this magnetic flux will opposes the flux which is produced by the three-phase winding. Okay, now here you are having two fluxes. One is created by the three-phase supply you provided inside, and the another flux is created by the rotor, which is due to Faraday's law. And these two fluxes starts to oppose each other, and the motor starts to rotate. This is the basic construction principle and working of three-phase as well as single-phase induction motor. In the next class, we will be seeing more in details with the single-phase induction motor working principle.